What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. We're finally back after a little bit of a break. We've just had so much going on here in Louisiana, just with work and life and everything really. So today we're actually going to start getting into some of my collection that I've already had for a couple of years. Some of these pieces are a little bit more rare, and usually what I do is when I get a new piece in the mail, I usually that day or the next day go ahead and open and share that with you. But while we're between statues and we're on a little bit of a break of things coming in, we're going to start reviewing some of the pieces that I already have. Today we're going to start with the 1-to-1 Majin Vegeta Bust by JROS. This is one of my absolute favorite pieces in my entire collection. I have to be absolutely serious when I say this was truly a grail for me, and it's something that I'll probably hold on to forever, if not a really long time. It's one of my absolute favorite pieces. There are some videos out there with a review of this, but we're going to get really thorough with it and see everything, show you guys how it comes together, so you can see why it is absolutely my favorite piece of my collection. Stay with us, we're getting into it right now. All right, guys, so here he is. He's only 3 parts, which I really like a lot. He's not a whole bunch of little tiny finicky parts that you're concerned about breaking or anything like that. This is a very sound structure of a statue. It's one of my favorite things about the JROS line. Let's go ahead and start with the COA card here. It's got a gorgeous piece of artwork of Majin Vegeta just looking badass as he can be. The back is the Majin logo here with the JROS logo at the very top. It's got this nice matte finish and it's on like a credit card plastic material. Embossed in the card is number 12. There are only 50 of these made, you guys. This was his first run. He kept it really low. I actually was able to get this from a private seller a little later. I paid a little bit more than what it was when it first came out, but the value has since just kind of gone up, and that's been pretty cool. So again, this is number 12 of 50. We're gonna go ahead and start with the base here. The base has this like light, almost grayish lavender trim with this really soft, whitish, kind of like soft banana yellow top here. So we're going to start with that. Oh, the bottom, it's number 12 of 50 with the JROS logo. So we're going to go ahead and sit that there. Now the next piece is the torso. His classic blue shirt with his ripped up veiny shoulders. And then last but not least, the very best part, which is this absolutely gorgeous portrait of Majin Vegeta. And he sits in just like that. It fits super snug. The engineering on this thing is absolutely amazing. It's not ridiculously heavy. It's easy to be moved around, but I do take it apart anytime I do need to move him around the collection. So what we're gonna do is go ahead and get some cool 360 shots of this thing and see all the details. And then once we do that, we're gonna go into a full review. Stick around. All right, guys, so let's go ahead and discuss some of the features and some of the cool details going on in this particular piece. So I like that the base is pretty simple. It's not this big, crazy, wild, extravagant thing. It really emphasizes the character, but the color and how it's done really supports it really well, but doesn't take away. Everything is all about Majin Vegeta here. Just to let you guys know, this was actually my first bust. This is my first bust experience in the statue collecting world, which it's a really good one to start your bust collection. I have since really kind of fell in love with busts. I've realized it's a really polarizing thing with the busts in this community, or with the collectors community in general. Some people either really like them or some people don't really like them at all. I am definitely on the team that likes these things for sure. We're gonna go ahead and start with the texture of his shirt. This thing has amazing, amazing texture. Being that this is a 1-to-1 bust, the texture is really deep, but it's absolutely appropriate for how close you're getting up to this. If it was any more, it'd be a little too much. If it was any less, it would be pretty underwhelming. I think the texture on his jacket is absolutely perfect. Let's go ahead and move up into the skin tone. The skin tone on this thing could not be more on point. Like I said, he just absolutely nailed this with the company who painted it. It's not too dark, it's not too light, it's just exactly what I would have done if I was maybe directing the artwork going on to this project. I like the veins. I think if I had one critique, maybe the veins could have been a little on the bluer side. But again, that's just personal preference. It looks really good, and it really wasn't until I started seeing statues more recently that had that blue undertone underneath the skin that I started kind of like finding that really appealing and just a little bit more realistic. This doesn't really have that, but again, it doesn't really need it. I certainly didn't notice it when I first got this statue a few years ago. All the muscle tone in the chest and the neck and everything is just absolutely flawless. Let's move up into the face here. The face is unreal. The skin texture is absolutely perfect. Not too much, not too little. It's just really, really on point. Everything is really, really sharp. The soft shading in his eyes look great. The line work, the black line work they did around the eyebrow here, it's just really, really clean and really well done. You can tell the person knew what they were doing. The Majin M here is a little bit raised, so he has a little bit of texture on it. It's not just simply painted on. Really, really like that. And the vein in the head is on point. I really like that he created the seam down here for this third part and not on the jawline. It just makes it really seamless. You can't really see the gap in here at all. These parts are just permanently attached, so it's only 3 pieces. Yeah, I think the angle of the head is absolutely perfect. It really pulls that iconic scene of him turning the head and looking at the camera. I remember that as a kid, and it was huge, and it just really got me off the couch and just really stoked on what was happening in that particular episode. So let's move on to the hair. The hair is probably my favorite part of the whole statue. It's exactly what I would think that this would look like from the anime into a real life scenario. It's absolutely perfect. The flow is really good. It's not too shallow. It's not too deep. These aren't too pointy and weird. It's very, very solid and feels just great. I don't feel like it's just gonna snap and break or crack really, very, very easily. The back of the head looks just phenomenal. How they did it, how everything just comes back right to you. It's excellent. Like I said, this thing commands so much of your attention in my collection that I do like to tend to put it right in the middle so that way it doesn't counterbalance everything going on in the collection. You have the tiniest little insinuation of blush here on the lips. I think that's perfect. Again, it's not too much, but it just pushes that little bit of realism over the top. There's really not too much to go into about this particular statue because it's very self-explanatory. 3 pieces, it's huge, it demands your attention. In my opinion, it's probably the closest thing to a perfect statue that I have experienced so far doing all of this. Again, it just really holds its weight in the collection. It's easy to box, it's easy to assemble, it's solid. I could ship this anywhere in the world and I would be absolutely confident that it would get there in one piece unless you have a really crazy delivery person who's just not giving a shit at all. But pretty much any kind of shipping service would get this to you and it would be just fine. It's a really solid piece. So that's pretty much it for the Majin Vegeta. It's very simple, but again, it's just unreal. It just goes to show you that a statue does not need to be hyper complicated, really microscopic detail, very delicate to be a really heavy hitter statue. This is great engineering and it's great design by JROS's part. And we have already reviewed the EX 1-to-1 Frieza, and I actually have 1-to-1 Super Saiyan Goku bust on the way, and I'm just literally counting down the days till that gets here. I couldn't be more excited. Again, I think these 3 are gonna be like some of my absolute favorites, and so far the 2 out of the 3 are, and I just cannot wait to get this Goku. I really wanted you guys to see this so you can see what I get to enjoy every day. Keep an eye out there for them. If you have an opportunity to get one, do not sleep on it. This thing is unreal, and that's pretty much everything I could think to say about it. All right, guys, thanks for joining me again this time. This was a lot of fun, and I can't wait to start getting into these statues that I've already had. And we are gonna take a little bit of a break between shipments because I'm waiting for some stuff to come through, but stuff is continuously coming, and I am getting notifications saying that things are preparing to ship. So we will have some new pieces coming as well. And thank you for joining me this time. We'll see you later.